Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Today I thought I would sit down and discuss a topic with you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water first. My radio voice going, and let's talk about this, because this is the sort of argument I get all the time to any sort of nutrition stuff I put in a video. The sort of arguments people make, and it's the sort of arguments they make on the internet. Our ancestors didn't eat that way. This tribe in Alaska didn't eat that way. Homo erectus didn't eat that way. Our ancient ancestors 17 million years ago didn't eat that way. Natural is better. That's all complete nonsense. Like, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter what those people ate. That's not a relevant argument to what is healthy or fit or will increase your lifespan, lower your diabetes, lower your cancer, lower your body fat, build muscle. That's all completely irrelevant. Do you want to know what's relevant? What lowers or raises cancer? That's what's relevant. What makes you fat versus makes you lose fat? That's what's relevant. Okay? We have modern science and the ability to study this. Furthermore, not a single one of you, unless you are insanely rich, even has the ability to eat like whatever specific group you're talking about. You don't. Just stop. But people make these arguments, and it comes back to this idea that natural is better. And it's like, so you want to die by age 35? So for me, as someone who looks at data, looks at numbers, looks at these things, cares about it, when someone says, I want to eat the way my ancestors ate because natural, what I hear is you want to be dead by 35. That is your goal. Cause and effect. So if you have a group of people who average lifespan was 35 years old and you imitate their lifestyle, my assumption is that that's your goal. Obviously, that's what your goal is, right? Why would it be anything else? That's the only thing that makes sense. So that's the only possible logical answer. Or the only answer is that person's just stupid and they don't know any better. Because they're going to just ignore science, they're going to ignore research and just say, yeah, whatever, this is what this, but then they don't look ever at which group. Do you even have the same gene set? Not that even matters. But you'll see these arguments all the time. Even the worst one. No other animal, the vegans will pull this one. So I'm going to go to the other extreme, away from the crazy carnivore side. Vegans will pull, no other animal drinks milk. Well, actually, they will give it a chance. But humans, as if that's relevant. Okay? My response would be, so if scientists, and my response to any of these would be, if scientists invented a serum that they found lowers all-cause mortality and reverses the aging process enough that the average person who took it lived to be 200 years, and they had good data showing this looks like it's going to be the case, would your counter-argument be, no animal in nature takes a serum that does that? Would your response be, Homo erectus 5 million years ago didn't have that. They lived to the ripe old age of 30, the way God intended. Well, let's go to Homo sapiens. Paleolithic man on the edge of the Caucasus Mountains didn't eat that way 20,000 years ago. They didn't have that serum, and they're dead at an average age of 35. Okay, so that's cool. The people who want to take that logic, go ahead and die at 35 and let the rest of us live, right? That would be my response to anyone who wants to emulate any of this nonsense. Okay, cool. So quit taking antibiotics, because that's not natural. It's natural and it's paleo and it's caveman and it's ancestral that when you get a major infection, you're supposed to die from it. Your body goes septic and you die. That's what's supposed to happen. When you start, it's not natural to put an antibiotic in there. A bunch of man-made chemicals. Chemicals. I mean, that's really how you guys sound. Chemicals are from the devil. You're supposed to die and go be with Jesus as soon as you get a major infection. Okay, cool. So when your 7-year-old kid gets an infection, is that what you're going to do? Or are you going to go to the doctor and you're going to have them give them medicine so they don't die? Some of them evil chemicals. I mean, but it's that stupid. It is that stupid of an argument. Like, what? But on top of it, they don't even bother to look further. Like, I made one a while back, and then I said, even in there, it's not relevant. We actually have good data now starting to show that Paleolithic man ate about 80% plant, about 20% animal. Okay, cool. But see, here's the thing. I only think that's interesting because that's kind of what I told people was probably the rough range for health. I just thought that was interesting after the fact. But I also said it's not relevant because that group didn't live that long. Okay, humans just didn't live that long through those sort of time periods without modern medicine, and that's the problem with any dietary approach. You know, same thing when people start talking about the Homo erectus being a super carnivore. Well, one, they're not even human by any definition. They weren't even intelligent enough to speak, as far as we could tell. Right? They wouldn't even be able to converse. They didn't have the cognitive ability to do that. But they didn't live long enough to have heart attacks. They didn't live long enough to have strokes and atherosclerosis. They just died too young, so it didn't matter. It's irrelevant. And it's the same with a lot of the paleo stuff. I mean, we could look at things and say, hey, that's well and good, but it's just a data point. It's not an argument. Look at what's happening in the lab, what we see in the lab. Look at the epidemiology studies of who lives the longest, who has the lowest rates. And it's pretty clear what sort of variety of eating patterns produce that. Okay? Generally carbs highest, then protein, then fat. Saturated fats are low, refined sugars are nearly non-existent. Okay? Added fats are simply very rarely there. The only cultures that do might be like the Mediterranean type diet with extra virgin olive oil, but even then their overall diet is still not that high in fat. And most of the fat that's there is healthy fat, not coming from animals. And if it is, it's from fish. The rest is somewhat moderated. Lots of plants. This is what we know works. Okay? The healthiest cultures on earth eat, and the longest lived people, based upon what we've seen. Then when you look at the studies in the metabolic ward, it becomes clear why. There are certain patterns that are absolutely very distinctive and measurably there. Okay? And it doesn't matter what some other group of people ate ancestrally. It's completely irrelevant. That, keep in mind, even if it was relevant, our gene flow as a species has changed as a result of the agricultural age. It has completely changed even our digestive enzymes. Okay? It just has. We're not technically entirely identical anymore to that species in terms of those things. And neither are our pets. Right? That's even been studied. Their digestive enzymes of dogs, which are genetically wolves, by the way, they are completely wolves. That is where they came from. We bred them from wolves. Even their GI tract has changed by living with us in the post-agrarian age or post-agricultural era. Like enormous differences between them and a wolf in terms of their digestive system. They're still the same species. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.